Hello, everybody! Excited utterance here. My name's Hella. Justice for Sarah Boone. Hey, everybody hates me at the moment, but it's okay. It's okay. I don't think she's innocent. No, no, no. Sarah, Sarah. No, I don't think she's innocent, but I think this woman's being railroaded. I do. And the more I look into it, the more I think I'm right. And you know what? People are coming out of the woodwork who actually seem to think that I might be onto something. Hmm. Hmm. And yesterday, half Irish in chat. Hello, half Irish. Where is she? Half Irish. She found somebody who agrees and even went and met with Sarah Boone. Yes. And he's a lawyer too. Yes. And the reason he went and met with her was because he thinks that her Sixth Amendment rights are being violated, trampled on by a judge who seems to think that, you know what, stuff her. She's going to prison anyway, and she's been belligerent and a nasty piece of whatever, and who cares? She brought this on herself, so whatever. And the rest of the world agrees. The rest of the world's like, who cares? Right? And you know what? The other problem is about this is that there's a lot of misinformation getting around. There's tons of misinformation getting around. Everyone is saying, oh, you know what? She's had 8 lawyers and she's been rude to them all. Well, actually, that's wrong. She's had 4. The others conflicted out. So let's just stop that right now. There has not been 8 lawyers. There's been 4. She's been abusive to them. Well, what's abusive? Do you remember Taylor's Business? That's abusive, right? That's actually scary abusive. So if someone could work with that woman, why is there not a public defender that can work with her? Right? So really, if you actually go back and have a look at her letters that she wrote, I remember listening to them and going, well, yeah, she's super annoying, but some of the things she's asking for aren't that much, really. She's asking for somebody to be around and actually answer her questions. She was complaining. I remember when she was dealing with, I think it was Hobson, she was saying that he would just go MIA for weeks and weeks and weeks and not answer her questions. She wanted to move things along. So there's another piece of misinformation getting around, and that is that she's trying to delay this because she knows she's cooked. Well, a lot of her complaints along the way have been that she actually wants to move things along, and none of these lawyers are giving her any time. Now, I know the world does not revolve around Sarah, and she does need to understand that. However, right now, she's pushing really hard to get information so that she can be prepared for trial. She's very worried because she's on her own, and she did not ask to be on her own. She didn't, right? So she's right. She has a right to a public defender. It's her constitutional right to have a public defender, and she did not ask to be here. Now, another piece of misinformation just before I continue and bring in my co-host and also start with the video that we're going to show, stop it, Dali, is this. And that is, she has not sacked anybody, right? And I've been watching all the comments and all of the things that people have been saying. I need to clear this up. She has not sacked any lawyers. They've all dumped her. They've all dumped her. So she has a right to a fair trial, is what it's all about. Exactly, on Bronze. She has a right to a fair trial. So she's not sacked anyone. They've all dumped her, and there's been 4. The others have conflicted out. So let's just think about it that way for a moment and then consider, was it right for the judge to just decide that she has waived her right to a public defender when she never, ever said that she did not want to have a public defender? Okay. Oops. Hello.
Hey.
How's it going? And
Good, how are
welcome
you?
new members. Donna
Donna.
Martley, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for becoming a YouTube member. That's so great. Welcome to the family. I consider you part of the family anyway, Donna. You're always around. We love
Yes.
you. You're fantastic. And Wicked Wookie, you are part of the family too. Thank you for becoming a YouTube member, making it official. Making it
Yes.
official. You are great. You are great. Okay, let's have a look at some of the comments so far. Ronnie, how's it going? Good to see you. Ginny, yes. Thank you. Oh, wow. I'm officially the Aussie blogger. I'm Mini Sean. Mini Sean. And you know what? I was really pleased yesterday because I was chatting in Sean's blog. And I know, like, Sean was singing the same tune as everybody else last week. And I've been at him, at him. And yesterday he started to say some of the same things. And he was saying that he thinks that the judge has been a bit of a dick. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean. Because he is. The judge has been a bit of a dick. Judge Kranick, I think his name is. Kranick, whatever. He's been a bit of a dick. And a lot of people in his chat too are saying the same things as, sorry, wine mums out there. I'm going to show you the comments on this dude's video after he's spoken, because the guy I'm about to show you, he has 135,000 subscribers. And a lot of his subs have gotten into his comment section and said, I'm unsubscribing from you. I can't believe you went and saw this woman. She's a filthy murderer. She doesn't deserve any more defenders. She has brought this on herself. She needs to go and rot in prison. And he's gone, she deserves a fair trial.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, come on now. He's a defense attorney, for crying out loud. Why are you even following him if you don't want to hear about due process? Yeah, it's Boone time, Chinny. Mavka. Late and upside down. Yeah, sorry about that. I was going through the motions to withdraw, all of them. I went through every one of them to just double check my facts here. Flash fan. Hey, you and chat. Yeah, I'm pretty good. I do agree with that. All of those lawyers were not her fault. They're not. Thank you. Thank you. I'm making a difference, one person at a time. Dali's getting mad about this too, aren't you, Dali?
A little bit.
A little bit. Are you sick of me talking about it?
A little bit.
A little bit. She needs a dedicated lawyer who'll stay in her cell with her. Like that exemplary young thug lawyer. Oh, isn't he great? She needs balls of steel. Steel balls. Steel balls. She's not in a cell, I think. She's in one of those open plan dorms. Things, like Chile. So, yeah, lucky everyone around her. I'm pretty sure everybody wants her to go to trial right now. So she gets to be in a cell. Ah, dear. Okay, and what else? Hey, gee, hello. The judge just loves the Sarah Boone love letters. Yeah, he does. He loves them. Isn't that why she's got a new judge now? Because the other one couldn't handle it any longer?
Probably.
I think, yeah. Laura says, I think there's part of us that says, haha, you suck. Suffer the consequences of your actions, but due process has to be for everyone. And I think that's kind of it. Right? The general public consensus is people are so angry at her. They hate her so much. And because she continues to play with us and give us more fodder, people continue to thrive on that. And they're like, oh, another letter. She's so funny. Haha. And then when she gets given this sort of sentence, I suppose, by the judge to go and represent herself, they're like, haha, suffer.
Suffer, child.
Yeah, and they see it as being sort of comeuppance for her for being so rude. Whereas if you really think about it, she didn't actually forfeit her right to a defender. She never did. And if you really think about some of the awful people who have had a public defender, yes, business. Do you remember that guy that we actually ran this trial with the spit mask? Rhodes.
Oh, yeah.
Rhodes in Tennessee. Yeah. Or Kentucky, sorry. Kentucky.
Yeah.
He was a danger to his defender, right? It's actually, if you look into some of the case law that the judge has cited in his 16-page order, and you look into the footnotes where he's referenced them, it talks about defendants who are actually like physically abusive to their public defenders. Sarah's never been physically abusive.
No.
She's never ever even really been abusive.
She never hurt a fly.
Annoying. Pardon?
She never hurt a fly.
No, she never hurt a fly. She's never even really been abusive. She's just been super annoying. Like, she is bothersome.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. I may not agree with a lot of people on this. I don't agree with you on a lot, but you're still one of my favorites. Oh, thank you, Flashman. Hello, Kat. How are you? Good to see you here. To be honest, I'm torn. I want her to have an appeal-proof trial, but dude, she's insufferable. I know. Like, I don't particularly like her. And I certainly wouldn't choose her to be a mate of mine. But I wouldn't choose a lot of defendants to be a mate of mine.
Yeah.
The only one I'd probably choose would be Zach.
Yeah. Or Mark Jensen.
Yeah, no.
Well, he's mine.
Sure. I forgot she's living in Tide Pod. Yeah. Macca. Only the one she kept calling a buffoon. Seems like she was using a buffoon. Oh, I forgot about that one. Buffoon's pretty light, really. Buffoon. Oh, you buffoon.
I can think of worse.
Yeah, I can think of worse things. But, I mean, if you're a public defender, you've got to expect to put up with some shit. Really? Surely. Anyway, let's get into it. So, this guy here.
Are you going to... Kat, thank you for gifting a membership.
Oh, that's nice of you, Kat. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. You're lovely with the gifted memberships. Everyone go subscribe to Kat if you haven't too. By the way, one of our mods, would you mind putting Kat's channel into chat? That'd be so awesome.
Yeah, I got
if you're not already subscribed to Kat, I'm pretty sure someone has. Everyone has. That's lovely. Sorry, Mads. Maybe Sarah could hook up with a suitcase company and start the Boone line of suitcases. Slogan: "We'll keep stuff safely inside." Yes, inescapable. All right, sweet. Okay, where is my thingy bob? Where is it? Oh, there. Oh, not that. I was going through documents. We need to go back to this. Now, this guy here, he has a channel called True Crime Deep Dive. And his tag is mentor lawyer. Now, he is a retired defense attorney in Florida, retired. He is not in a position where he is able to represent her, but he is trying to find somebody to represent her. I spoke to him yesterday on email. He is not doing interviews. So I respect that. But I reached out and I said, look, if you want to just catch up, not do an interview about this, but just talk at some point, love to meet you. Really do. He did some good Clenny coverage. Yes. He also covered the Dan Markel case. So I always forget their names. The family involved in that killed Dan Markel. Whatever. Who cares? Yeah. That big Tallahassee thing that happened.
Yeah.
He covered all that. And that's still going on. The mother's still going to go to trial yet.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you're in Florida, it's a big deal to you.
Yeah, the high class white trash.
Yeah, them. Anyway, so he has quite a big channel, big following, and his followers aren't very happy with him right now. I'm sure they'll get over it, most of them. But anyway, he decided to go and visit Sarah in jail, and she accepted. And we can just watch. He said to me, absolutely stream my video, react to it, do as you please, but I'm not doing any interviews. So I'm like, thank you, that's very nice of you. Excited. Hey everyone, I'm new here. Is this topic about defending Sarah Boone? No hate here, just a question. No, well, yes and no. It's about defending in a criminal sense. It's not about defending her as in we like her. It's not about saying she's innocent. Hell no, she ain't innocent. No way. She absolutely put her boyfriend into a suitcase, we think, and sat there and went, for what you did to me.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Maybe it was not intentional. Hang on, where's our soundboard? Maybe it was
not intentional. Not intentional.
Yes, that. Maybe it was that. However, no, she needs to go to prison for a very long time. But we are defending her right to a fair trial. And we do believe, or myself at least, I do believe that she's been railroaded into going to trial as a pro se defendant when she never waived her right to that. So, and this man here believes so too. But we're absolutely open to all views. I like having nice discourse here on this channel. So, sorry about your sentence. Would you sign off on your likeness? What's this? Oh, sorry, you're talking about. That's okay. And Bronze. Wow, 7 months has gone by so fast. Fun times. We love having you here on Bronze, even though you're from Tasmania.
Oh,
Okay.
Cat again. Thank you so much.
Oh, did you give another one?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay. So let's just get into it. He went and visited her, and he had a chat to her, and his title of his video is I Met Sarah Boone. She deserves and needs a lawyer. I'll put his link into chat. It's also in the description of the video. So I would suggest following him, like his channel, subscribe to his channel, keep up with his updates, because why not? Good on him for sticking to his guns. Let's watch what he has to say, shall we? And we can stop along the way and have chats about it. Boom.
Hello, everybody. Mentor Lawyer. We're here to discuss the case of State of Florida versus Sarah Boone. It concerns the 2020 death of her boyfriend, Jorge Torres. She calls him George. I call him Jorge because that's the way you say George in Spanish. And I met with Sarah Boone 3 times last week. The first time just to introduce myself and see whether she wanted to talk to me. And then when she agreed, we had 2 meetings. Those 2 meetings were protected by attorney-client privilege. I will not be representing her in her case. And that was agreed upon up front. But I did meet her twice, and both were set as attorney-client meetings with the full permission of the jail. Because of the fact that those were attorney-client meetings, per the agreement that I had with Sarah Boone, I agreed, and I will protect the attorney-client privilege as to our communications. There was a limited exception that we both agreed to, and I'm going to read what I wrote first, a little summary of what I could do that she and I both signed at the conclusion of the meeting. And I'll tell you then a little bit about what we agreed that I could discuss here on the channel. And it's going to have to do primarily with the difficulties that she faces now that she's representing herself, and with the fact that she does want to have a lawyer represent her. She does not want to represent herself at trial. This is a very serious case, and she would love to have an attorney on her side presenting the case. So here's what we wrote that I could say, and then I'll just talk a little bit. But I'm not going to discuss, so if you're here to discuss details or explanations, excuses, whatever, I'm not going to discuss any of our communications about the issues in the case or about anything that we may have discussed, right? I'm only going to discuss what's in this letter. Now, our agreement also says I've covered this case. I was actually the first channel that covered the case way back when, maybe 2 years ago or so.
Really?
And the agreement is I'm going to continue to cover the case. Our channel will continue to cover the case. And so I can obviously speak to the evidence that we have all seen. I'm just not going to share anything of what I learned directly from her as far as those issues go, if anything. Right? So here's what we wrote. So Mr. Bachevsky is allowed to discuss on his media channels the fact that he met with Sarah Boone on July 29, 30, and 31 that he showed a little bit of the evidence in the case to her. Because, as you all know, obviously I have all the raw materials that were provided in public records disclosures. After those records became available in discovery to the defense, we were able to get copies. So I was able to show a little bit of the evidence. Obviously, there's limited time that we got to meet, so I only was able to show some of the evidence that she had never seen, but we didn't have time to show a lot of it. And so I showed some of the evidence. We also discussed the difficulties that she had with her former attorneys and now with representing herself. And I'll tell you why I wanted to meet with her, because one of the things I do in this channel is I cover the justice system. I am a former prosecutor. I am a former criminal defense attorney in the sense that for a little bit of time, because I'm not a criminal defense attorney now. I've actually retired from doing any criminal law cases maybe 2 years ago. So I did it only for about 2 years as a criminal defense attorney. I was doing all of it as a conflicts attorney through the Judicial Administration Commission, where the court would appoint me, sort of like Sarah Boone got appointed lawyers after the public defender withdrew for a conflict of interest, and after the Office of Regional Conflict Counsel withdrew for a conflict of interest. What the courts do in the case of somebody who cannot afford to hire their own lawyer is that there's a conflicts list, a list of attorneys who are qualified to do the particular type of work of defending somebody who's accused of a crime. And it depends on your level of experience and qualifications about whether you're going to be listed for second-degree felonies, first-degree felonies, capital felonies, or just misdemeanors. You can also, as an attorney, decide that you're only going to take misdemeanor cases. So I did serve as an attorney for a couple of years, doing only those cases where I was appointed by the court as a criminal defense attorney. So I'm familiar with how the system works. And so we discussed that. So my interest was to understand, did she want to represent herself? Does she want to have an attorney? Why were all those problems coming up? And was it fair that the court decided that there would be no more attorneys appointed for her? I have obviously deep respect for the court, but I sometimes disagree with a decision from a judge. Now, in this particular case, I had some concerns when this whole thing happened. I thought there should have been maybe a more full evidentiary hearing with a better understanding from the judge. Is she just creating trouble to cause delay? Are there legitimate concerns here? Maybe there should have been something more, in my opinion, before going to such a drastic decision as to preclude her from having any lawyers. So I wanted to meet with her to discuss those issues, and if she would allow me to talk about them, I would. And so in a sense, I am allowed to discuss the issue of the fact that she still wants to be represented, that she still wants to have a lawyer, and that she hopes that somebody will do that, will take the case. Because if the court's not going to appoint anybody, then the only the only choice that she has, because she doesn't have money, is if somebody will agree to represent her. Now, I'm not going to represent her. I'm going to clarify that again. I'm not going to represent her. I'm retired from doing criminal cases, so I will not be representing her. But the letter continues. Our meetings and discussions were protected by the attorney-client privilege, and I won't be talking about our discussions with Ms. Boone, except for what she asked me to discuss here on the channel, because Ms. Boone does not want to represent herself. She wants the help and guidance of a good attorney who has the time and the resources and the interest in getting involved in this type of case. This is a one-of-a-kind case, of course. I think we have seen situations. Let me back up for a second, all right? So I have actually looked at all of the evidence that has been made publicly available. So right now I'm getting off my conversation or my meetings with Sarah Boone. I'm going to tell you my impressions in the past about this case, right? This case involves a situation where there's a couple that was living in an apartment together. They were not married. They definitely had issues with consumption of alcohol. There are issues in the apartment about prior abuse. There's testimony from a neighbor saying that Sarah Boone occasionally she slept on their porch outside, and occasionally she would come over scared. And we have seen her interrogation, and she does raise that issue as well. She talks about issues of prior abuse and talks about the fact that they were working on those things. And there's also, to be fair, there's also some.
Oops, sorry.
Evidence of potentially she also being abusive. At least there was an accusation towards her from George, and I think that those cases were all dropped in the end. And so I think we never got to find out who did what to whom. But domestic violence is going to be an issue in this case. So if there's an attorney out there who's looking to take on a case that will likely go to trial, unless there's a resolution, it will go to trial, and it will probably go to trial soon. And if you have interests on the issue of domestic violence, maybe that's a good case for you to take. Now, there's a
I
ton
just
of
want to clear something up for a second. Hi, my girl Waffles. And I understand that you have strong feelings about this. I just want to read out your comment. Sarah Boone is rude and has 8 lawyers and thinks she is right, as we all know. I would never defend her. She's a loose cannon. Okay. And my girl Waffles, I understand where you're coming from, and I really appreciate your point of view. Thank you for being here. I do not defend her actions whatsoever. I think she is absolutely guilty of killing this man. Whether or not she is guilty of second-degree murder or manslaughter or whatever you like to call it, she did this thing. However, that said, that does not mean that she does not deserve an attorney. Now, there's one thing I just want to point out in your statement there, and that is that she has not actually been through 8 lawyers. 4 of them conflicted out. So that means that they had a conflict of interest and they had to recuse themselves from the case. So there's some misinformation getting around. She's actually only had 4, right? And those 4, they decided that they didn't want to work with her. It wasn't that she didn't want to work with them. They didn't want to work with her. Okay. So we're now at a point where there's a lot of things floating around the internet that people have grabbed onto and assume they're true because there's lots of videos and things going, oh, 8 lawyers and she sacked them, etc., etc. I'm not saying that you said that she sacked them, my girl Waffles. It's just that there's a lot of things being said that just aren't true. And I think it's really important that we start to get our facts straight because now we have a woman who's 2 months out from trial. It's a big case. It's a felony. It's a murder case. And she's having to defend herself, and she has not waived her right to a public defender. So just want to get that out there. Some of those conflicts were ethical concerns, Hella. I've been through those conflict letters, and I'd like to talk about that more with you, Chinny. Most of them seem to be to do with knowing a witness or something like that. So I don't think they were Boone's fault. If you can point some out to me, Chinny, that would be cool. All right. I didn't know that 4 had to leave before even working with her. Yeah, absolutely. Only 4. Only 4 is better than 8. I know it sounds like only 4, but 8 sounds pretty bad.
Yeah.
case law, a ton of legal articles discussing how domestic violence relates or plays a role in criminal cases. And there are 2 different ways that it has historically played a role. There are cases to talk about where the prosecutor is trying to bring expert testimony, usually in the form of expert testimony, make arguments to the jury to excuse the actions of a victim who has been a long-term victim of domestic violence as an explanation, perhaps, of what was going on in the relationship. So in that particular case, it will be the prosecutor introducing evidence about something that the victim may have done and explaining that to the jury to make them understand that they still shouldn't have been a victim. For example, staying in a relationship where they're abused and continuing to stay there. So that doesn't give perhaps consent to the person who's committing the domestic violence to continue doing that. So there's a lot of articles in case law discussing that issue, whereas the domestic violence becomes important as trying to explain away something that the victim may have done. And then there's a very narrow cases, but they're all over the country that talk about the spousal abuse syndrome or the partner abuse syndrome. There are different variations of terms of how this is called. But that usually has to do with the situation where the abused victim will say, hey, let's say I killed or I tried to kill my spouse, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, the abusive person, because I was scared, right? So a self-defense type of argument. Now here, this is a totally different case because from the evidence and from what we have seen in the interrogation, right? I'm not discussing anything about what I talked to Ms. Boone about in person, but just from an interrogation itself, we saw that she was kind of acknowledging that she was keeping George in the suitcase longer than he wanted to be there. But at the same time, she kept repeating nonstop the fact that she never intended for him to die. So this has different fact patterns than the usual case where that issue will be brought as a defense. So let me finish the letter.
Okay. I think, Dali, I think that she could probably tell I'm Australian.
Oh,
welcome,
well, okay.
welcome, Waffles. We have quite a few Australians hanging out on our streams and in our Discord. I hope you stick around, even if you disagree with me. I think you can probably tell I don't mind having different views here, and as long as everyone's nice to one another, that's all that matters. Anyway, I had a question here from Matt. Is there any evidence that Boone was not as bad with respect to DV as he was? Very good question. I feel, from what I have heard and seen, and I actually have some body cam that's just come out in the last few days. I don't know how it's just come out, or maybe it hasn't. Maybe it's just started to spread on YouTube. But there's some body cam that's come out of some 911 calls out to the house, and she was arrested. I don't know what happened with him, but yeah, there's some things that I'm going to be streaming this week with respect to violence going on in the home back as far as like 2017, 2018. She has been arrested before for DV. I don't know about him. I believe he has too, but people have been searching her, obviously. I need to look more into that. So the talk has been that they were both trouble for each other, and there was alcohol, lots of alcohol flowing for both of them. I don't want to speak badly of the deceased, so, and especially if I don't know all the details, then I'm not going to say anything about that, especially until I know for sure. But yeah, I remember did you guys remember the father of the son, like her ex-husband, saying things when he was on that body cam outside the house about them both having trouble with one another? There was some talk then about that, but I don't know whether she was worse or he was worse. We'd be speculating. I am going to stream the body cam stuff though, guys. Honestly, he's saying nothing. We'll keep going. We'll keep going using the name.
So she wants to have an attorney that will be able to obviously devote the resources and the time to sit down with her, go through the issues, go through the evidence, go through what happened, and see if there is any potential defenses, and then explore those defenses. And even if it is not a run-of-the-mill type of case, but it is more a one-of-a-kind type of case, they will try to at least formulate a defense that makes sense and that goes along with those cases that have addressed the issue in more traditional ways. So Ms. Boone, in general, I can tell you that was pleasant. She was pretty reasonable. She allowed me to share my impressions. I told her my impression, and by the way, I wasn't there by myself. Ladybug was with me at the actual meetings where we had in person, where we arranged to have a computer so we could share some of the evidence. So Ladybug was there with me to help out, also to show the evidence and all that stuff and to take notes. So, and again, she was really hopeful that somebody will step up and represent her. And I did agree to come here on the show and do that and try to express that she would like to have a lawyer, that she is going to work with the attorney, is going to cooperate with the attorney, that she simply wants somebody who has the time to devote to a case that is not the run-of-the-mill type of case. And I do want to give you an explanation about how the system of justice works as far as the defense of those people accused of crimes in the state of Florida, right? So the first level of defense is usually for a defendant who is indigent, you have the public defender. And the good thing about the public defender is that they do have a lot of resources. The state of Florida does a good job in providing pretty good amount of resources for the public defender's office. And those attorneys are on salary. So maybe some of them are rookies. Just this, you're going to have the same on the prosecutor side as well. You're going to have a lot of people that are just starting at the public defender's office and just starting as prosecutors. Happens on both sides, but they have usually very good leadership, very good senior attorneys. So the public defenders usually do a pretty good job, and they have a lot of resources and time in their hand, right? They're not trying, they don't need to rush. I mean, obviously they have huge caseloads, and that could be a problem. But if there is a case that needs to have a lot of time devoted to it, they do usually have those resources to do that. The next level is the Office of Conflict Regional Counsel, which is pretty much the same thing as a public defender, but it is a different state agency. It is also supported by the state. So it's also lawyers paid for by the state on salary. And then the final level is the private attorneys on the conflict list. Now, the way that that works is that you get appointed a private attorney. A private attorney who may be very, very experienced or may not be very experienced. They would just have to meet a certain qualification that they're good enough to represent a person charged with a crime. And then you are going to be competing for those lawyers' attention against other clients who obviously potentially hire them in the private sector, right? So just to give you an example, I'm going to go back a few years ago when I was doing this conflict work. And I remember I agreed to take, it was a case, the one that I took to trial, okay? It was a felony case, felony battery case, and it was a third-degree felony under the law in the state of Florida. And in that particular case, my compensation for the entire case was $900. From the moment that I was appointed to the case until the end of the trial, until even after the trial, if I had lost, if I would have to file a motion for new trial or file a notice of appeal, all of that was $900. There are rare exceptions when you have an extremely complex case, and maybe this would have fit into that or not. I'm not sure. There are many situations where you could ask for additional compensation, but there's a lot of red tape, a lot of forms you got to fill out. The Judicial Administration Commission can object to it. So it's really difficult for an attorney who is in the private sector, who's doing this conflict work, to get compensated anymore over the flat fee. It does happen, but maybe some of those that are like professional attorneys that handle maybe like 30 or 40% of their cases is from the conflict list, and maybe they have done it for years. Maybe they have an easier way to get to that level where you get a little more money, but it's still limited money. And you're competing against the paying clients that may have paid, let's say, $25,000 to represent you in a DUI or $100,000 to represent you in a murder case. So that's what the court-appointed clients of a private attorney, right? So they have to take care of that client. They have ethical obligations to do a good job, to respond to their client, to do all those things. But you got to understand that where there is any room for discretion, where there is any room for you to, well, should I file this motion or not? If you're being paid a huge amount of money to do this kind of case, if it is a high-profile case and you're getting paid very well, you may have a little more of an incentive to do more. Obviously, every single lawyer should not do that, right? They should treat every client equally, but we're all humans. And I think that is human nature that you're probably going to do a lot more if you're getting paid a ton of money, and you're going to be a lot more creative when you know that you're being fully and adequately compensated versus when you're barely getting paid at all, where it's like a joke. Obviously, if I would just devote that amount of time that I devoted on that felony case that I did for $900 where I got this guy not guilty verdict, if I devoted that to my paying clients, I would have equaled that in a very short amount of time, right? Maybe half a day at most, okay, depending on the client or the type of things I was doing. So that's how the system works. And it is basically a situation of luck, right? Which kind of lawyer do you get appointed? Is it a lawyer, for example, that really needs that money? Or is it an attorney that, for example...
All right, I just want to discuss something for a minute. So people in chat are talking about whether a certain, he's already come up on screen anyway, whether Kurt would be someone who could represent her, or whether like a high-profile attorney or someone who perhaps wanted to be a high-profile attorney, get their name out there a lot more, could do it pro bono and use it as a platform for fame, basically. Yeah. And it's actually not a bad idea when you think about it. No. And I think Sarah probably knows this too, right? Like, she's not that silly. She knows that her interrogation went completely viral. She knows that people are out here streaming all her letters, that she is well known, like infamous, right? So, and she made that poster thing knowing full well that that would be plastered all over the internet. Now,
maybe she's doing it on purpose.
Doing what on purpose?
Like 4D chess, writing these absurd letters, trying to get attention on it, to get a lawyer.
I have no doubt that, well, not to get a lawyer, but I think that the letters and things have been a way to keep herself in the public eye.
Yeah.
Because she thinks that she's not going to get a fair trial if she doesn't keep herself visible. I think that's probably it. And I also think
clever.
that, like, along the way, like probably early in the piece, she probably thought that she had a chance of being out at some point in time and or getting off. And if so, she should be the one profiting from this, not all these other people. So it drives her probably crazy that other people are profiting from her infamy. So I think, like, earlier she probably thought that. Now she probably realizes that she's definitely going to prison. There's no question about it. And she should be at least getting a lawyer out of this. Like, come on. Yeah. The facts of the case, here we go. The facts of the case are so bad and so concrete, though. If the person wants to be famous on social media, that's one thing, but it's not going to give them bias status for getting an acquittal. No. I think if anyone were to take this on, it's not about getting an acquittal.
No.
It's about showing off their courtroom theatrics, I suppose, or their ability to at least make an impression in the courtroom. So
get a manslaughter conviction, and that would be a huge win.
A manslaughter conviction, so get it brought down.
Yeah,
that would
from
be
second degree.
That would be cool. But yeah, just to do well in the courtroom for Sarah Boone would be huge. To not be a shit show.
Yeah. I mean, no, Spiro would legit be going into like, okay, did the suitcase have label warnings warning that it was airtight?
Yeah.
Or did they have warning labels saying don't climb in here and zip somebody up? You know what?
True.
Maybe we should be bringing an expert from Samsonite into the courtroom to testify about how safe his suitcases are.
Well, actually, that was it Bankowitz? He was going to bring in a Samsonite expert, and Samsonite said no. They want nothing to do with it. Yeah.
Was it an actual Samsonite?
Yeah. It was like 18 months ago. This was back then, one of the hearings, like 18 months ago. Yeah.
Like, no, legit, like that was always my thinking is like, okay, if I put somebody in a suitcase, I would not think they'd die.
No, I wouldn't think so either, but you have to let them out.
Okay, but then you get drunk, you fall asleep. You still don't think they're going to be dead the next morning.
No, that's why it's not intentional.
No, I understand that. And that's why it's not second degree, in my opinion.
Right. Okay, see, this is what we need, right? So this is why she needs someone really good.
Yeah. Because I think she is a viable manslaughter. Manslaughter, yes. But I don't think it wasn't intentional. It was not murder. And it would seriously lessen the sentence.
Hey, Travion Washington. It had audible warnings not to keep someone in it. Yes. And imagine if the whole luggage industry changed, right? To now have these like things that go off and lights and stuff. It's like, do not put person in luggage.
I mean, maybe they should have had those warnings to begin with.
Poisons have like "do not eat" written on them.
Oh, Sarah should sue them next.
Should sue them. Yes, for loss of life.
Exactly.
Yeah, Samsonite are all hard plastic.
Oh, are they?
Breathable, not breathable. Warning, not breathable. It's all their fault, see?
Okay, we're going to have to get the model number and look this up.
Oh, see, some hotshot lawyer could really have their moment. Kind of. Do not iron clothes while wearing it. Yeah, like that kind of thing.
I learned that one the hard way.
Yeah. All right. I'm sure you did too. Or do not iron hair with iron. You know what I mean? Like, people say they're going to flat iron their hair and then they just go and get an iron. Okay. Anyway, let's keep going.
Like in my situation, right? I did it primarily not because I needed money, but because I wanted to do more trial work. Now, I would get appointed, and obviously I would do my job, the best job that I could for each particular client. And obviously I would exploit the possibility of a settlement in every one of those cases. Even though I wanted to do trial works, I wasn't trying to convince defendants to go to trial because I wanted trial experience. So I would just do the best I could. And then if the case went to trial, awesome, I would get trial experience. So we have ethical obligations as attorneys to do the best we can for every client that we accept. Is that enough to give every attorney that gets appointed by the court the incentive to do everything possible? I think that for the most part, the people that accept those type of cases, conflict cases, will do the best that they can. I do not know what happened and what broke down between Sarah Boone and those lawyers. Obviously, we had some discussions about that with Ms. Boone, and just in general, what I agreed to share with you guys is this: I think that she could be a reasonable client. She could be an attorney. She could be a client that can work with an attorney and do what is necessary to get this case to trial. And I'm not saying that she should win, that she should be found not guilty or
Guilty! Travion, Washington. They were all commercials where a gorilla tried to tear up a Samsonite and failed. Gotta figure it's pretty damn safe in there. Yeah. Guilty. Oh, they lose in a civil case with that. Bring that one up as an exhibit. It's safe in there.
Look, I mean, we're kind of making fun of this, but at the same time, a good lawyer could take this argument and really shape it into something that could.
She needs a Jackie Childs, is what she needs.
Yes.
This is outrageous, salacious, lewd. What she needs. Yeah,
All right.
that coffee was too hot.
Hey, Luna.
Who told you to use a bomb?
Actually, the coffee was too hot. It was a legit lawsuit, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, the coffee was too hot.
No, it was a legit lawsuit they had.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay.
Who told you to use a damn bomb? I love Jackie Childs.
whatever, but I'm saying that she does have the desire and the capability of being a good client and of following the advice of a lawyer who has taken the time to go through the evidence and all of that with her. So I really hope that somebody will take the case. I do know a few young lawyers who were my former law clerks and went to work, for example, for the public defender. So I will be myself checking with some of the younger lawyers that I know to see whether any of them are interested. But I did want to also to make this video so that if there's someone out there who's considering the possibility of taking the case because it is interesting, because there will be some publicity to it and stuff like that, I think that shouldn't be scared, and it shouldn't be like, oh, okay, this is going to be a crazy client. I thought that she was quite reasonable, and my personal opinion is that she could work well with a good attorney. So let me see, what else did I agree to discuss? Anything else? I did want to say this. I want to make sure that everybody's aware of this. So I'm not going to give any interviews. So I didn't do this to seek publicity for myself.
No.
I did not do this. So I'm not planning to, and this is not something that she asked for. This is something that I told her. So I'm not going to be doing any interviews with any channels. I don't care who it is, big channel, small channel, TV. I'm not here to do any interviews about my interactions with Ms. Boone. In fact, this is going to be the only video where I talk about that issue, and that's it. So don't send me emails, questions, or anything about Sarah Boone. I'm not a conduit. I'm not her spokesperson. I'm not, don't send me stuff to send to her. So this was simply a one-time thing where I wanted to do this interview, where I wanted to discuss the whole issue of her going to trial by herself without an attorney and the possibility of an attorney accepting the role. So this is really all that I'm going to be doing. I wanted to discuss those issues. That's it. Let me see, was there anything else I agreed to discuss? Yeah. Yes, we did agree to discuss a little bit about the resources that she has. So obviously, for her, this is a huge undertaking now, right? To represent herself, to get herself ready for trial, a trial that has been set to happen in a couple of months.
Okay, so just on that,
absolutely no.
I emailed him, and yeah, he responded to me. It was very lovely. Basically, I congratulated him on looking at the facts, because I said to him, I'm relieved that there's somebody out there who is willing to look at this from a different perspective, because also the fact that his subscribers seem to be just rallying against him now. And I'll show you the comments on his on this video in a moment. There are people, like hordes of them, going, I'm unsubscribing from you now, and saying also things like this, that, yeah, she's like the sociopath and duped him. So really, just insulting him, sorry, username, but like saying things that are derogatory to him in that like he's kind of stupid, like she's won him over, and that, you know, he's not the brightest and she's just like taking him for a ride. I don't think that for a second, because he went in already feeling that the judge had made a mistake, and he's come out not really thinking any different, and all he's really said is that she was decent to deal with. So yeah, I just feel like when people's minds are made up about something, it's very difficult to change them. So and that's the comments on this video just show that. They're just like, well, she's guilty anyway, who cares? Anyway, so I sent him an email along those lines, and I just stated the reasons why I'm concerned that her rights have been violated, and I asked him permission to restream this firstly, and I said to him, if you wanted to come and discuss it, I would love that, but that's obviously down to him. And he said, no, I won't be doing interviews, as I said, but you're very welcome to restream it. Yeah, so no, he hasn't blocked me. But yeah, he does seem to be smart and knowledgeable. You have mixed feelings about this creator. I used to watch him a lot, read the Adelson case. Oh yeah, that's their names, Adelson. But he didn't conduct himself in an admirable manner in the aftermath of the Charlie Adelson verdict. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, he is called Deep Dive True Crime or something. So he dives into nitty gritty details a lot of other people do not. So that makes sense. The name of his channel. You'll sub to him. That's nice, Flash fan. Well, he's lost a few subscribers recently, so that would be cool. Not that he's a small channel. He has 135,000 subscribers. So yeah, not that that makes any difference to me. Like, I mean, obviously, the size of the channel or whatever, and who you are as a lawyer in the YouTube community doesn't really faze me. I have all sorts of people on this channel, so it's not about numbers. And I said that it's not about numbers for me. It's about the principle of the matter. So, and that's always been the case when I cover these things.
Experience as an attorney. So I did ask her a little bit about the resources that she has in the jail, and she allowed me to express the following. Number one, I actually saw it myself. I interacted with the jail personnel. She still doesn't have the computer. So she's supposed to get it on Monday, right? On Monday, she's supposed to get, not the computer, she's supposed to get the thumbnails, the thumb drives with all of her material, all the boxes of materials that the judge, with the help of the former defense attorney, Ms. Cashman, I think, they gather all these boxes.
Hey, Fiery.
So the investigator in the case, who is paid by the Judicial Administration Commission, he was assigned to put all of those in thumb drives and then to bring it to Sarah Boone. So he's supposed to bring it. There's a hearing on Monday. So this investigator is supposed to go to the courthouse with the thumb drives. Sarah Boone is going to be there this Monday. And then the judge is going to be presiding over this hearing where the investigator is going to hand the thumb drives to Sarah Boone. She's supposed to have access to a laptop in the jail, apparently at least for a certain window of time every day. But she still hasn't had that computer. So she hasn't even been able to start whatever research or anything like that she would do, or writings that she was going to do on a laptop yet. She's supposedly going to get it on Monday. She does have access to a tablet, she says, that has very rudimentary law library access in this tablet. The tablet exists primarily, she says, to sell the people staying in jail the right to buy TV shows or movies that they can watch on the tablet. But she says that there's very limited information that she was able to find in this library that is available on, law library, I guess, that's available on her tablet. So I hope that she will also be given additional access to more resources to prepare for this trial if she's not going to have an attorney to represent her. But she does need an attorney who obviously has experience and the resources and the availability to do the case on short notice and to devote a couple of months to prepare for this trial, and that obviously will have access to all the case law, statutes, articles, and all the stuff that you need to properly prepare the case. So that's all that I can discuss as far as my meeting with Sarah Boone.
Deep dive true crime.
I think that I've seen the evidence before, and definitely I think that one of a kind is a good description for this type of case. I express again my condolences to the loved ones of George Jorge Torres. I know that he had daughters that he left behind. And so I'm usually in this channel more focused on the victims' rights and giving the victims a voice. And I think I still will do that on every case, including this one. But this one is a different type of case with a lot of moving parts in it. And obviously, George will never get a chance to give his side of the story. So that is unfortunately true in every case where there is a death. But my personal opinion is that I think that the judge jumped the gun too fast on this issue of forfeiture and waiver of the attorney-client privilege right. I did some research actually about it myself, and I did find case law where it says that there should be an evidentiary hearing where the person who's going to be found to have waived or forfeited her right has an opportunity to respond, right? So in this particular case, what happened was that there was, again, a hearing with Ms. Cashman. I didn't watch any hearing on the motion to withdraw, so I'm not sure if there was a sufficient opportunity for Ms. Boone to respond to the allegations. I don't believe I've seen any hearing of that nature, but if there was one, great, then I guess I'm wrong. I don't remember seeing a mention of an evidentiary hearing in the order that the judge issued making those findings. So bottom line is that she still could have an attorney. What it will take is going to be an attorney who is willing to do this pro bono. And pro bono with the understanding that there are going to be a lot of eyes on the case. So maybe that's a benefit. Of course, it's not a great benefit to an attorney to take a case pro bono on a case where there are going to be a lot of eyes on the case if there's nothing to do. So I think that, I think, I guess it would be more attractive, of course, for such an attorney if there was a winnable defense, if there was a chance at least of prevailing. So I'm not going to give my opinion about whether that's a possibility or not. But I do think that an attorney that still does practice criminal law, that would like to have a case that is unusual, I think that they should give it a shot. And you all know how, if you're an attorney in Florida and you do criminal defense work, then you know how to set up a meeting. So maybe go meet with her and see if I'm correct, if she was reasonable, and whether she's someone that you could work with. So that's it. I'll answer a few questions about anything other than my communications with Sarah Boone. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them now. Unfortunately, I wasn't reading through the chat because I was busy thinking about what I was going to say to you guys. So
probably enough. All right. Use the name. Wait, did we bring that up on screen or not? Oh dear. Okay, look, you know what? Why not? We like to have fun here. I bet they've decided on a screen full of individuals. Oh god.
Jesus Christ.
Terrible. Oh dear. Yeah, Sarah Boone will be able to use Photoshop for her posters because she'll have a laptop. Yeah.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've had to turn off the camera.
You turned off the camera. We couldn't both turn the camera off.
Twice, I think. I couldn't.
Oh my god. Oh dear. Dear. Oh well. I mean, actually, so did he answer your questions, Hella? Well, no, I mean, of course not. I've got tons more questions. I'd like to talk to her myself, but more than her, I'd actually like to talk to the judge. I'd actually really... She'll have access to 200 funds, but will only use Comic Sans and wait. That's actually pretty good. I think she'd quite like lobster fun. Yep, you're so right. Actually, I give her more credit. I think she's more talented than that. But who knows? She'd probably get stuck just decorating it all day.
Like Hella designing a stream for your say for Sundays.
Hey, shut up. I'm efficient. I'm professional. I do think she needs an
12
attorney.
hours
Like, she brought it
later.
on herself 12 hours later. But I do think she deserves an attorney. Yes. Okay, look. Back to the point. I think, like, I would like to talk to the judge about this. Sarah can't really answer many of my questions, right? My concern here is, what was the judge's thinking when he decided that she has waived her right to a defense attorney? And tomorrow, was it tomorrow? No, Monday. Well, tomorrow's my Monday, but tomorrow there's going to be a hearing, and he needs to rule on this standby counsel. So let's just wait and see, because I tell you what, if he says that she can't have standby counsel, that's just absurd to me, right? Like, she's put forth a motion for standby counsel, and the JAC, which is the
Judicial
Administrative Commission, they've come along and said, well, no, we're not going to pay for it, because they've interpreted his order as being encompassing all defense costs. But that was as Chinny said. So as we were discussing in our chat the other day, Chinny said, no, he's already ruled on this. He's ruled on there being no defense attorney for her, right? But and the JAC has agreed with that, right? And they've gone, no, we're not going to pay for any standby counsel. But the judge hasn't actually specifically ruled on that, and he needs to specifically rule on that on Monday. So we will find out whether or not she's going to have somebody whispering in her ear and helping her with her court documents, etc. Oh, bye, Dali. Oh, that would be the cats. We'll find that out on Monday. We'll also find out whether she'll get the costs approved for her additional resources. So she's asked for some extra things that we went through on Friday. Cowpoke, how are you? Do we have a psychiatrist's opinion on why she's rejecting these letters? Like, in her opposition, simply the way her brain works, or is there purpose to her behavior? Cowpoke, like we mentioned earlier, and I said it earlier in the stream, they actually dumped her the other way around. Hey.
Hi.
Was it cats?
Yeah. Babu didn't even jump up on the computer this time. No, he just hopped up on it with his two paws and hit the power button.
Really? The cats really don't want you to stream, huh? They want your attention all the time. Yeah, sorry. I'll just come talk to... No, Cowpoke, I know you just got here, but I'll just refer you, because earlier in the stream, right at the very beginning, I went through a list of things that are out there in the public narrative at the moment, and they're just not right. One of them is that she has pissed off 8 attorneys. Not correct. There's only been 4. The others conflicted out for different reasons. And another one is that she sacked attorneys. She hasn't. They've all sacked her. So the 4 of them who have recused themselves, not for conflict reasons, the ones who said that the reason is irreconcilable differences, those 4, they recused themselves. So she hasn't actually sacked anybody. So I've been going through all of the motions to withdraw and finding the reasons, and a couple of them have said that she won't be happy with anybody, things like that. But generally, I'm not finding anything that's saying that she was abusive or anything like that, or that she has any, like you say, I'll just go back to yours. Do we have a psychiatrist's opinion on why she's rejecting them, or that she's like rejecting them, for example? One of them said that she probably can't work with anybody, but that was just his opinion. So I'm a bit iffy about this idea that's getting around that people are saying that she just can't. She's just pushing these people away because she says that she wants a lawyer. And that man that we just had, we were just watching, says that she is fine, that she's amiable, and that she's open to having a lawyer. She really, really wants a lawyer. So we've got different things coming out. Okay. Ultimately, it doesn't matter what the JHC thinks is a judge's decision. Exactly, Flash fan. We have to wait till tomorrow to find that out. Or Monday, sorry. I keep thinking Monday, tomorrow. It'd be much easier, better appeal if he denies her standby counsel. If he denies her standby counsel, it'd be much easier, better appeal if he denies. I wouldn't think so. I think it'd be better for this, for everybody. Oh, you're muted, Dali. I wonder why it was so quiet.
I wonder why you weren't listening to me, but then that's usually the case. So
Yeah.
No, yeah, it would be she has a very good appeal right now, I think. And if he denies her standby counsel, then it's a very good chance for it to be a big appellate issue.
Yeah, I wonder whether that's what you meant, Travian. Yeah. Someone did a deep dive into the different lawyers. That's a really good question, Half Irish. If you can find that, that would be great because I'm going to do it myself. Otherwise, that's
we should look into the pre-trial hearings and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I'm going through all the motions, literally, myself, as we speak. So I've got them all up in PDF format right now. But no, I'm not going to take up all your time with that right now. I'm doing it myself.
Yes.
But if someone's already done a stream on it, especially a lawyer, that would be cool. I will go and watch it and get myself familiar with someone else's opinion. Will Sean get cited in Sarah's legal docs? That would be kind of hilarious. Why would he? Why would he? I don't know.
I really want to know.
I am trying to see if the make model of Suitcase exists in her court filings. I don't know if it's in her court filings, but I do remember there being a hearing about a year ago where she was, not her, but her counsel at the time, I think it was Hobson, was talking about an expert from Samsonite.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember because David was streaming it.
With Chandler?
No. Not that would break client attorney privileges, which is unethical for an attorney to do. You risk the judge reporting you to the bar. No, that would. Okay. How much preliminary work is a standby counsel supposed to do? I don't know. That's a very good question. And therefore, how long of a continuance would that tend to bring on? Because, I mean, one thing she hasn't put forward as a motion is a continuance motion. And you would think there would have been a continuance motion before Monday. Because there's a hearing on Monday. And she's managed to work out how to do a motion. So why hasn't she filed a motion for continuance? That seems kind of nuts that she hasn't done that. It's the biggest thing. You think she would have done that, right? That confuses me. We know Otto. Oh, hello, Otto. How are you? We know the video did her in. I mean, there's no question about that. But like we were discussing earlier, a really, really good lawyer could really flex their muscle here and get it down to manslaughter.
Yeah.
Big time flex their muscle. And it could be like their moment. And yeah, the whole future of luggage cautionary tags could be changed. Do not get in luggage. Not
California
breathable.
is going to lead the cause.
Yeah.
They're going to make sure every state puts a warning on every suitcase. And you do not remove that warning label. Just like for mattresses. Penalty under the law.
Yeah, totally. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Actually, hang on. Before we go, I just want to show you something. Hang on.
Ban assault luggages.
Assault luggage. Well, it's true that, like, you can't just take any luggage into anywhere. All right. Oh, this. So check this out, right? Look at this. Do you want to read this one?
I'm sorry, brother, but she doesn't have an attorney because she can't work with one. No attorney is going to please her sexually. That's not me, for one. That's what her previous attorneys have said. She doesn't have the right to an attorney if she's going to continue to abuse that right. Brother, you're wrong on this one, my friend. Yeah, I mean this with the greatest respect, and I love your channel. But lawyers should stay 1,000,000 miles away from her. A galaxy away. Let her enjoy the soup she's made for herself. Enjoy it with those sweet, sweet chicken bones for flavor. I want some chicken noodle for my soul. Why should we be paying for her to abuse one attorney after another? And another one who takes this case for free is a fool. More!
Oh, look at this.
She has casted him in. I'm done. Won't be a follower anymore. To even contemplate her side, taunting her victim, brother.
Wait, hang on. What
Scroll.
happened?
You
sorry.
You did the zoomies?
Oh, yeah. There we go. Hang on. She casted him. Oh, there you go. Read more.
I'm not saying he was perfect, but she locked him in the suitcase. Like I did in WrestleMania 14. When he pleads with her, she taunts him, laughing like that prick Vince McMahon. Zero sympathy for her, brother. She has gone through 8 lawyers, and I guess he thinks they all wrong. But Sarah, more. Sorry, mate, but you lost the plot. Like a bad Twilight Zone episode. I'm guessing you're going to lose a lot of subscribers siding with the devil.
The devil. Hey, J-Rock, is J-Rock still here? J-Rock, this is the comment section I told you to go hang out with, lady. He's going to lose some subs over this. She deserves nothing. She had multiple lawyers. She can't accept the fact she's guilty and wants a lawyer that will tell her she's innocent. God. Hang on. There's more. Here we go. Want that one?
Like, she had 8 competent, reliable, knowledgeable attorneys, half of whom she mistreated, demeaned, and abused. At this point, she doesn't deserve court-appointed legal counsel. Grody. I have always been a huge supporter of this channel, but this is the wrong take. She is manipulative and extremely immature, grody. She doesn't deserve the grace you are giving her.
Oh,
And
hey, J-Rock is here.
Okay, and I don't think Valley Girl was the right accent to do with a woman with a black avatar, but I'll digress.
Oh, dear. Oh, yeah. Oh, someone's having a go at him because he called him George. I mean, you're wrong about George. The 2018 arrest body cam of George and Sarah had George asking to be called George on film. So I think we should all respect him by calling him George. Oh, God. If you start to feel bad for her, watch her video again. Think of how horrible that was for George. And she laughed and cursed at him. She abuses people, period. Lock her up and throw away the key.
God, she just made me miss my ex.
Oh, here we go.
Dude, she already had 8 court-appointed attorneys. If she doesn't want to work with that, it's on her. If she wants like royal treatment, she'll have to pay for one on her own now. More. The court can't hold up justice too much longer for the victim and family at this point.
Okay. Hello, these people.
Hello.
The trial is for the defendant, not the victim or family. Sorry to sound heartless, but that's how it is. The sentencing is for the victim and family,
Yes.
not the trial. It's Florida versus Sarah Boone. P.S. Go. This is too much fun.
P.S. Every single time there was an issue with DV, she like started it. Grody. Her ex said the same thing. And Hella can't zoom right.
Sorry.
And they tried walking away and she would start scratching and hitting. Her ex managed to get away. Jorge wasn't as strong there and he fought back. He lost his life because of that. Yvonne's seen it coming and she's an alcoholic psycho.
Oh, hey, Zach Ellery. How are you? Zach's a piece of celery. And I'm skint hella. What is that funny accent you're doing? Sounds like a fake country. Yeah, people say it is. You
should get a real accent like mine I was doing.
Oh, yours, right. Here we go.
Like, ew, she did deserve an attorney, Grody. 8 different ones tried with her. Enough already. She's just stalling. BC, she knows there's no defense that will convince a jury. Sorry, bad take, emo. Unsubbed, girl.
Oh, unsubbed. Ouch. She unsubbed because she didn't like his opinion. What a bitch.
This seems hopelessly naive to me. She's toxic AF, girl.
Oh, can we go back to Angry Man? I really hate Brody.
Interesting.
No, do it. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh.
Do one.
No, I'm one of your most loyal fans, but you lost me on this one, brother. Allowing Sarah to use her as her voice to the world is just wrong. She's a heartless, cold-blooded murderer. And while she may be innocent until proven guilty, in a court of law, the court of public opinion is united, brother. Miss McMahon is a douche. I mean, Sarah is a manipulator and used you. Her letters are meant to tell her story to the world. I have the utmost respect for you, and my left nipple is hard, but not on this one. I couldn't be more disappointed in you helping and having empathy for this monster.
You're okay? Is your left nipple all right?
Yeah. It's just slightly erect.
No. Oh, no. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you for gifting 5 excited utterance memberships. Can you see them, Dali? Because I can't right now.
Hold on one sec.
Or can I?
I can if you give me a sec.
Yes, please. Thank you.
All right. What do we have here? We have Travion Washington. Ooh, Living on Love. Chief Boonman. Swift Firefly. Mr. Squiggles.
Hey, Mr. Squiggles.
Nice.
Sweet. Thank you, Otto. That's so nice of you. Thank you. And Benjamin Gray. 1 private attorney and 4 conflict or unavailable out. Was there 1 private one? Really? Okay, I'm going to have to go through that and check. But yeah, I'm sure. I believe you. I'm just going to go through it and check. Thank you for being a member for 6 months. Wow. And I'm pretty sure, Benjamin, that you've been gifted 6 months in a row. Not that I'm calling you out for that. I just think that you're super lucky. Like, you're just like scoring all over the place. And thank you for being in chat all the time in order to get all those memberships. So you are really loyal. Thank you for being part of our community. AG, FYI, I got my ex suspended somehow, so it may a while before I ex again. What are you talking about? I have no clue what you mean. Hey, Diaz, how are you? Mostly shut. Failure open was the issue, J-Rock. The zipper got stuck, guys. Ah, okay. That's cool. Commentators hate him. Oh, yeah. They're not happy with him right now. Okay, so wait on. Every single time. Oh, where's the newsflash? Just a minute. Someone said newsflash. Where is it? She only had been with him by choice for 3 years. Her ex said Sarah was the aggressive one when drinking. She got drunk and accidentally caused death of boyfriend. She should have worked with one of the 8 attorneys to make a deal. I believe she wants someone to agree. Not intentional means innocent. Well, no. Okay. Breaking news alert. Okay, you want to do the breaking news alert?
Breaking news alert, son. She just used you and treated you just like she treated the other 7 or 8 attorneys, just like my ex named Jennifer who lives in Mesa, Arizona, that whore. She told you exactly what you could talk about, and that's exactly what she's done to the others. Ugh. I need to text her. Wonder what she's doing.
So you're not representing Sarah, except on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Oh, what's this? Here we go.
The Judge/court did all it could to facilitate access to an attorney for her. I think she had 7 or 8 or more different lawyers in there. They all quit. Sarah doesn't want guidance from an attorney. She wants to dictate to an attorney how to handle her case, and she wants the attorney's attention 24/7, like a girl I dated when I was 20. Everyone deserves legal representation and not to be pegged. We all know that and agree with that, but Sarah can't work with an attorney. So if you want to receive her calls all day and night, if you want someone who demands your attention and refuses to understand, no, you have other cases and responsibilities. Have at it. In my opinion, you shouldn't have to cleanse your colon. Sarah was difficult with each attorney because she doesn't want her case going to trial. She used a system to stall
case. Doesn't
like
want
the
her
end
case
of a
going
date.
to
She knows that video, the one she took and refused to watch during her police interrogation. We'll nail her.
We'll nail her. It will nail her. You know what this sounds like? This reminds me of the whole Brian Koberger thing, right? Because you know what he's doing? He's just trying to delay his case because he knows that he's cooked, right? So he loves being in jail. He just loves it, right? So he's just hanging about going, la-di-da-di-da. Can we just put this off a bit longer? Let's just put this off a bit longer, shall we? Yes. All right. Oh, this.
Okay, you met with her. Why? Seriously, brother, please don't assist the sad, brutal murderer. Alcoholic and very mean. Like totally grody.
Grody.
She is guilty in her own video. Show it, brother. Like gag me with a spoon. I'm sad that you are even thinking about helping her.
Don't gag me with a spoon, please. Okay, couple more. Oh, this one.
One more. She doesn't deserve to keep abusing people over and over and over and over. Like Vince McMahon. She doesn't deserve the people to pay for her anymore. There is so much evidence out there showing how she treats people, including the jail staff. She is a pathological liar. She BS cops, so many cops, into believing her stories and had Jorge arrested when she's the one who was the one doing it. I believe that you're wrong on this one, brother. As far as believing anything she has to say, she does need an attorney But once she pays for herself, she has her fans, her only fans, and nothing more. If you could see all the evidence about who she actually is, maybe you would feel very differently. IDK, I love how you care about people's rights, etc., but I respectfully disagree about this person's rights. She's a very mean, narcissist, selfish person who killed her boyfriend because she was drunk and wanted to make him suffer.
Suffer,
Sarah.
Suffer. All right, that's awesome. Thank you, Dali. You did great.
Thank you.
You did very, 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 very well. And AG, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the family. That was amazing. Yeah. Hey, Brooklyn, how are you? ML, who's ML? It's
guy?
actually it's from what's it, Mentor Lawyer. Yeah, Mentor Lawyer's comments. Yeah. These are the comments, and he's got, how many are there? There's hundreds.
300 like last night, I thought.
Yeah. 300 comments or so last night. And like the stream itself has quite a lot of views, but it doesn't really matter. Like all his streams get quite a lot of views. But hang on, let me just check. Oh, there we go. Oh no, it doesn't. It's only got like 4K, and for him, that's not very many. Because he's got 134K subscribers. Yeah, 329 likes, which is that's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, 4K is not. It's only been. I suppose it's only been a day. But yeah, like Suffer Suitcase boyfriend. Wow. I'm surprised. Like I would think, because it's controversial. It's drama. Like people who tune into these channels, they love drama. Yeah. You would think even if they disagree with him, they'd still watch it. You know. So it's interesting. And he did say he's not doing it for clout, for views. He's not going to go and do any more videos on it. He's not going to do interviews. So that's it. That's all he's saying. Done. So I got to give him respect. I really do. Like he went and saw her. He's trying to find somebody who's interested in representing her. He thinks that her rights have been violated, and good for him. Good for him. The state of Florida tried to file a complaint to the bar against him for meddling in the Adelson case. He won that though. He won it. Good. I don't know anything about that. I didn't know that, Brooklyn, but thank you. Drama defines the true crime community. Just saying. I know, and whenever I see a channel that's called True Crime, I'm a bit iffy. But then it's run by a lawyer, so then I'm like, ooh, maybe they're just using the words true crime because people tune into things that are called true crime. So I'm iffy about true crime channels, but then they're not all cast with the same brush. So there are some really, really bad true crime channels like, JLR and those sorts of ones, but then there are some which are perfectly fine. So yeah, I mean, people tune into true crime. It's a genre. So you just need to be careful not to cast aspersions against people. But yeah, it's interesting. Like just because someone put a complaint in doesn't mean that necessarily that held up. And so if you want it, interesting. It's interesting. Thank you though. Aren't I a true crime channel? I don't like to call myself a true crime channel just because of the fact that there are so many. There are so many true crime channels that get up to some really nefarious stuff. So, and when I say that, go and have a look at what's happening to someone called Bullhorn Betty right now. Right. So this person is being criminally charged for many things and has a restraining order from the parents of Sebastian Rogers, who's the little boy who went missing in Tennessee. And yeah, go and have a look into Jonathan Lee Richards. He's another convicted felon who has a big true crime channel. So yeah, there are a lot of true crimers who get up to some bad stuff, and I just don't really like to put myself under that banner. So TrialTube, hashtag TrialTube is what
I think we should start a false crime channel.
A false crime's pretty good. I like that too. Yeah, kind of like Turtle Boy. I am the excited channel, indeed. TrialTube. Yes, TrialTube is good because you don't have to be a lawyer, because LawTube is lawyers, and it's getting a bit old-fashioned, the whole LawTube thing. But if you believe in due process, if you believe in commenting on the law, but also being very transparent about the fact that you're not a lawyer, you okay? Being very transparent about the fact that you're not a lawyer, but you respect the opinions of lawyers and are willing to bring lawyers in when you don't know stuff, but just want to comment from a layperson's point of view, I think that's TrialTube. I think it's TrialTube. Hell is a great America. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Star Spangled Banner and all that kind of stuff. What do you say? What's the words you say?
To the
know, when you what's the in the Star Spangled Banner, what's the words? I think God save the king and all that. What do you say?
We don't really have words for that.
You don't have words that you say when someone says, oh yeah, USA, US, nothing.
Make America great again?
Yeah, that. Sure. Okay, that. Nice.
Don't tread on me.
What?
Dump our tea.
Okay, sure. America, fuck yeah. Sure. Yeah, that. Ronnie, see, Ronnie's got it. God bless America. There you go. Oh, say, can you see? Yeah, that. We say from the windows to the walls. Do you? Do you? Is Queensland now Kingsland? No. No, we still love the Queen. We still love the Queen. God save the Queen.
Meghan Markle.
I still love the Queen. Who?
Meghan Markle?
No. No, we don't like her. I pledge allegiance to the flag. Yes, your flag and mine. See, we're friends. Americans and Australians are friends. We are allies.
Yes.
We're allies. We ask if you have oil. We have much oil. We have very much oil. We have much everything.
We have our own oil.
Yes.
It's just
we have all the stuff.
Not environmentally friendly to go after.
Yes, indeed. The bar associations know that false accusations come in and view things in a white, all shades of grey black. Yeah. Oh, it's so nice of you to be here, Brooklyn. Thank you. Much appreciated. It's lovely to have you here. Okay, cool. Tomorrow, Sunday. Guess what, guys? Hearsay for Days is back. Hearsay for Days is back. And guess who's going to be on it? Hang on.
Me?
Hang on. Of course you're going to be there. Of course. We wouldn't be Hearsay for
This
Days without
guy.
you. No.
Oh.
Yay! Oh, hang on. It'd be better if I'm not there. Yay! Sean's going to be there. Yay, Sean!
Hey.
We got Sean on tomorrow for Hearsay for Days. So tomorrow the topics are ballerina. Everyone's talking about the ballerina.
Oh,
and
Sean's
of course,
joining the ballerina
yes, of course.
in the ballet.
Doing ballet. So we've got Ashley Benefield. Of course, we're talking about Ms. Boone, and we're back with the nose. The nose that knows. Yes, there's lots of nose stuff tomorrow because, he's been on the nose this week. Yes, there's been document drops and all sorts of stuff happening this week. So people have been talking about Mr. Nick the Nose. So Nick and Sarah and Ashley are all of our topics for tomorrow, Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Join us, everybody, with our good friend Sean, and make sure that you are there for that. Join us live. Live. The link is in chat. And that's about it. Set your notifications. Yeah, set your notifications. Sean is playing the lake in Sean Lake. Number 2, naughty. It's great having you all here, guys. Thank you. That was super fun. More Sarah Boone during the week. I'm going to show you the body cams that I've found. And we will do a watch of the hearing on Monday, probably Monday evening your time. Because I don't think I'm going to do it live. What's the point? You have to just sit through breaks and crap like that. So yeah, we'll do that. Yay! Thank you, everyone. And one more thing before we go, and that be this.
Her name was Ella. She was an Aussie. She was a fake lawyer from the future. She got on YouTube and made some live streams. Co-host is Dali and she dances sometimes. The words are always so loud and because she's an 803. To the attention, excited young.